Hello everybody and welcome back to the TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Ben.
My name is Peter.
And my name is Ashton.
Panic there for a minute because you're in between me and Ben. I was like, a little bit of my brain was like, it's Ashton next. It's Ashton next.
It's never me next.
No.
It's an exciting week, guys, because it's episode 150.
Yes.
Again,
Congratulations.
we've done it.
We've done it.
It's very exciting. We need to get t-shirts with, how mums have those shirts that say, I'm not 50, I'm 21 with
Again.
I have one of those.
You do have one
Mine
of those.
says, I'm not 40, I'm 18 with 22 years of experience.
That's it. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Podcast episode 150 with how many episodes?
10 episodes.
10 episodes of experience.
We need one of those signs they have in like industrial workplaces where it says days since an accident.
Days
And
since
it can
a
say
podcast
days since
150.
episode 150 and it just says 0 all
How
the
many
time.
of you would buy that? One?
One person?
One person?
Okay.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Just for you.
We'll pay the artist and we will manufacture them in bulk and we will sell one of them.
Yeah, we won't make them to order. We will get 250 of them made.
We'll have to take about 40 of them home each and just throw them out after one wear.
Yeah.
Because we'll have so many of them.
Just give them out to people on the streets.
Please take this.
You want this?
Please. This is our video game podcast. We talk about video game things, and each and every week we're sponsored by a very real video game adjacent sponsor. They help us keep the lights on here and do what we do. And Ashton has the very real ad read in front of her right now.
I do. So, as you may or may not be aware...
I am.
Good.
I'm not.
PlayStation announced their PlayStation Plus thing, but we all thought it was going to be called Spartacus. So I got an ad read through from Stadia, who said,
Well, they still
we're
go.
releasing Spartacus. And then Xbox contacted me and said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then Epic Games contacted me and said, no, we're releasing Spartacus.
Where's this going?
And then Ubisoft Connect contacted me and said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then Steam contacted me and said, no, we're releasing Spartacus.
Right.
And then Nintendo said, no, we're releasing Spartacus.
And then I emailed Ashton
You
and I
emailed
said,
me.
I'm releasing Spartacus.
And then I decided after all this, I'm releasing Spartacus.
Is that it? Is that the sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I was just waiting for a pun, that's all.
I think it's really clever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
They're all releasing Spartacus.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the
Like
the
the movie.
funny, yeah.
No, I'm
I'm
Spartacus.
Which movie is that?
Okay, well that might explain why perhaps it didn't land quite as well
Okay.
with you. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
They all say they're Spartacus to hide the real Spartacus.
Yeah.
Right. In which
they all
film?
sound that.
You still not told me what film it is.
It's probably Spartacus. Is it?
I am.
What's it
is
called?
Is there a film called I Am Spartacus?
No,
I
I'm
Spartacus.
going to Google it.
It's maybe not called Spartacus.
It's not. It's got. Yes, I don't
but
think
it's got a
called
guy called
Spartacus.
It's got several
I
people
am
who claim to be
Spartacus.
called Spartacus. in
Right.
it. Yeah.
In that case, that's a very good real sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't know,
Could be confusing.
yeah.
I think it is from Spartacus.
I mean, it would make sense, wouldn't it? I am Spartacus.
Yeah, 1960 work Spartacus, directed by
Right.
Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
Oh, Stanley Kubrick. I should know that, shouldn't I? It's
Should you?
clearly some kind of classic.
Yes,
I
but
think
Should
it
know.
is.
He's the one who filmed the moon landings.
He did. He did
Yeah.
do that. That is
Right.
true. I've not seen Spartacus, but I'm aware of that.
I haven't seen it either. but
It's
I'm
parodied
aware
a
of
lot
it.
in
Yeah.
pop culture.
Wow. Well, I've
And
really
now,
missed that.
right here on
neither of you have
this
seen the film.
podcast, or was it parodied?
It's not real.
Ah.
Made it up.
Come on.
It's just a joke that clearly hits everyone
Look,
Except
statistically, 77% of listeners understood it.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good margin. for it.
77.
Yeah?
That's not 33 times 2.
2/3.
Oh, God, what have I done?
66.
You made me question myself there. You're like, yeah,
66.6 recurring.
two of us. Yeah, 77. Maybe Billy understood it a bit. Maybe that's why it's 77.
77.
Um,
The last couple of weeks of podcasts have
Put
been
me to bed.
incredibly...
Put me to bed.
In fact, that still wouldn't work because even if he understood it completely,
No.
that would be 75%. So he would have to understand it even more than you two, and even more than I don't understand it.
Maybe there's like a collection of small mice in the walls who overheard. And
Just all of the bacteria in this room.
Yeah.
I understood
Somehow,
it, yeah.
I'm so tired.
Ben's
Ashton,
a bit hungover today.
I really enjoyed that sponsor.
Thank you.
And what I enjoyed more was the discourse and confusion surrounding it, both from people who didn't understand the joke and people who did, and then tried to be patronizing and made it worse.
And did not.
So that was just a big success all round.
Great
That's a great
success.
one. Thanks.
It's not a real sponsor,
problem.
though. Of course, we are sponsored by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/Team TripleJump. And you can go over there for as little as $1. You get access to the question post we ask each and every week. And that's where we get the questions for this podcast. There's loads of other tiers available, loads of other ways you can support us on there. You get all sorts of rewards. So please do go and check that out if you haven't already.
But there's one other thing you can do to help us out and to quote unquote sponsor this podcast. It's not quite the same. There is actual podcast producers later on. But what you can do to help this podcast is go to facebook.com/Team TripleJump and follow us on there. /like. It's not called like anymore. It's called follow.
Follow.
When we get to 10,000 followers, we will pay Ashton, and maybe she will come up with sponsors that, are references to strange kids TV or something that I'll understand.
Yeah.
78% of the population.
Yeah.
want that one.
Yeah, give me that Okie Doke related sponsor next week. That's what I want.
Do you know Okie Doke?
No.
No. Okay. It's time for question one.
I said that very in sync. Go us.
Question one is from Conroy Milk, which is still an excellent name.
Mr. Milk.
Hello again, Bap. I recently decided to check out the Metacritic reviews for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and saw that the user reviews were sat somewhere between 4 to 6 out of 10, depending on the platform. Curious as to why the score was so low, I read a few of the reviews and read one review who scored the game a vomit-inducing 0 as the game spreads woke propaganda. And with the
That's a quote, by the way.
Yeah.
Conroy Milk is not saying that.
No,
It does.
yeah, but that's the quote from presumably directly from that 0 review.
Yeah.
With another user starting their review with "This game isn't a 0" before they promptly rated the game a 0.
Good.
Do you feel as though user reviews are starting to become less reliable due to reviews like the ones mentioned above? While the game isn't Prefect, it says, it certainly isn't a 4 out of 10, as this would put it on par with most games featured on Worst Games Ever. Thank you, Conroy. Good
Thank
question.
you, Conroy.
My grandson Nathan loves this game. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I was so confused when you started that sentence.
Where's this going?
It's like,
Some real deep character work happening this week.
So for context as to why it quote unquote spreads woke propaganda, I believe you can create non-binary characters.
yeah, you can have
in the
they,
character
them pronouns.
They them pronouns, yeah.
What a loser thing to be upset by.
And there are also
That's not all.
no, that's not all. Whether this affected their woke idea or not, there are also some like LGBTQ plus characters. Like there's some gay characters and stuff.
Can you
and
imagine
that's kind of it, I think.
being so small and pathetic that upsets you?
I know.
What a
can't.
weak-minded person. How
That there's the
shrimply
option.
and shrivelly, like a little worm man, just can't handle it. Pathetic. Grow up.
I mean, I agree. To
You are
answer
so correct.
Conroy Milk's question, though,
Yeah.
I suspect that general attitudes probably haven't changed a great deal the whole time that it's been possible to be a user reviewer. However, I suspect that maybe it's now more straightforward. Like it's either easier to do or it's more kind of in people's heads that they can go and leave reviews. I think maybe 10, 15 years ago on, like GameFAQs or whatever websites there were back then that people would leave user scores on. I suspect that you had to maybe be a little bit more into your games to go and do it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, if you're into your games, you don't share these attitudes. I think there's probably a lot of people who are very into games in their point of view and also think that, oh my God, you can be they, them, gross, 0 out of 10. But certainly I think it's just more accessible for anyone and everyone, including the horrible people. And therefore that might be why there appears to be a slightly newer problem than maybe it really is. I don't think it's like
it's a loud minority.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and they're getting louder, I think, is the issue. I think like the minority has always been there, but they've now kind of got the platform to just go and review. And like you have things like review bombing, which is like kind of a more recent trend. It's always been possible that people could have review bombed, but it just didn't really become a thing until, a few years ago, maybe. So I suspect that is like sort of the issue as to why that's becoming more and more of a problem. And so in that sense, yeah, I think user reviews are starting to become less reliable because people are just treating them like, a kind of a voting ballot. Like, I don't like this game because of these reasons. You vote with your wallet, or you vote like in other ways. You don't vote against a game by giving it a negative score when that score is supposed to be a mark of quality, not a mark of does this have characters in it who kiss people of the same biological sex as them or the same gender identity. So I think maybe they are getting less reliable, personally. I think they're just getting more kind of marred with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, like you say, it's all about accessibility and how easy it is to leave a review. Like you say, review bombing is just one element of user reviews that is ridiculous. I think that you can tell if a review is genuine when you look at something online. I think that rather than looking at kind of like the overall score of like 4 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, you just have to look at the reviews, because the ones that are trash are very clearly trash from the get-go. Like, they'll just say like,
it's never a balanced
woke
review,
propaganda.
is it?
No,
it's just a 0 or a 10.
0 or 10. Yeah.
Because even a 10, sometimes like you can get really good reviews and it's like, this game's the best game ever, knowing full well it's like terrible. Like, if you go on Steam and the Nickelodeon All-Stars Bash or Brawl or whatever it was called.
Battle
Brawl.
All-Stars Brawl. That game has really good review scores on Steam because everyone's like really liked it when SpongeBob smacked the crap out of Nigel Thornberry.
And didn't do any voice acted lines at all.
Didn't do any voice acted lines.
That was my favorite.
Smashing.
And then just like people just putting on there because it's kind of a meme, and then you've got like a really good review score for like a game that is trash. So it goes both ways in terms of it being either really horrible reviews or really good reviews.
Like Garfield Kart, like everyone's saying that's like, it cured their cancer and it's given them spiritual purpose in life and stuff.
It becomes a bit of a meme to add a user review. But I do think that one thing that I think maybe Metacritic should do, and I don't know if maybe I just haven't discovered the way of doing this, but you know how you can like say if a review is helpful or not on Metacritic? There's no way to be like, this is unhelpful, this is not a good review. You can do that on
Metacritic user reviews, I think.
Can you?
I think it says like 0 out of 1 people found this helpful. So there is a way, but you probably have to make an account.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I was looking the other day when this question came through, I was having a look and I was like, oh, this is a trash review. I'm going to see if I can like dislike it. But I had to make an account and I don't have an account. I can't be asked to make one. So that's why I'm part of the problem, I guess. But I do think, like you say, it's easier to make a review and leave a negative score. Because if I was to leave a good score, I wouldn't really know what I would type in the box. It's like when I get like a takeaway and they're like, what did you think? And I'm like, it's all right.
I'm only going to tell you if it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like TripAdvisor, isn't it? It's the same thing. You either go, I had a wonderful time. When we get home, we'll give you a full 5-star review. Or, if there's like a cockroach in your bed, then you go home and say 1 star.
So yeah. I don't know if I made any points.
Do you remember when that indie developer changed their name to Very Positive so that on Steam it said developer and publisher Very Positive, Very Positive. And if you just sort of glanced at it, it looked like...
Oh, their games are great.
Average scores, Very Positive.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
And yes, you did make some great point sessions.
Cool.
No, you should absolutely not trust user reviews, and I don't know really why you would at this. And this isn't me coming for you, Mr. Milk. I'm just saying generally,
Mr. Milk.
do not trust user reviews because they are increasingly a place for people to air grievances and vent, whether that be because they're homophobic,
Bigoted.
or because they are upset at Gran Turismo 7's microtransactions. It's not necessarily representative of the quality of the game or what the average person, thinks of it, because people do just use it as a platform to be cross for whatever reason. So instead, what you should probably do, and we've said it before on this podcast, is find websites, journalists, content creators, streamers, YouTubers that you like and who enjoy similar games to you and have similar opinions to you, and wait and see what they think about a game. Increasingly, there are so many places and so many opinions on the internet about video games that aren't the complete extreme.
Yeah.
That you will find people, and for some of you, which is very humbling, it's us, that you generally agree with about most things regarding video games, and just pay attention to what those people have to say. If you give, and I even wrote it down, Noob Slayer 69 the power to award a game a 0 review score, they will do it every time. Don't give idiots a microphone, even if those idiots are justified in their anger about a particular topic.
And even if it's kind of funny.
Even if it's kind of funny, like Garfield Cut. Don't trust what they have to say. You're giving them power, and it's just going to be abused by anyone because it's so easy to do. For every one person who goes on a lovely trip to the countryside and stays in a cottage, grandma's cottage, and they give it a lovely 4.5-star balanced, thoughtful review, there's someone who stood on a dog egg outside, and they give it a 0-star review, and they type in all caps, and there'll be maybe 3 of those for every one thoughtful review, and it's not representative of what the game's going to be like. Don't trust Noob Slayer.
No,
he's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
So
bloody woke propaganda.
And also, if you are going to go off user scores, which you shouldn't do, but if you're going to, you should at least do it on some websites over others. Like if you go to Amazon, you get people rating stuff 0 stars because like it didn't arrive in the post or something. Like that's not a mark of the quality of the game. That's the service of Amazon. And even worse, if it's like, say it's an old game, that's not being sold directly from Amazon. It's being sold from like independent sellers. So they give it a 0-star rating on the Amazon page for that product, but that 0-star specifically relates to how Penguin Books or whatever they're called, Penguin Games, posted a bad did some bad postage.
Only boots in German.
Yeah.
But does every copy of the game
exactly.
only boot in German?
You accidentally bought a German copy, or Jesus.
It's a shame, but don't listen. Don't listen to that. Just find creators you enjoy in whatever field and see what they think. Or just, if you're in a position to do so, buy it and try it and then return it. Yeah. Not everyone's in that position though.
Yeah.
It's time to move on, Ashton, isn't it?
It is. In honor of episode 150 as well, it's time to do a segment we've not done before.
What?
It's time for What We Playin'.
It's time for What We Playin'. It's What We Playin' time. Peter?
Just ignore this.
Yeah.
Just ignore this.
So for the audio listeners, can you please describe what happened? Because I didn't see
a little dance.
So about a head down.
Scratching my nose.
Oh, were you scratching?
I was scratching. I was. And then Ben started talking and I just kind of just
turned it into
started
a
out.
along.
And then I hope no one saw it, but then Peter just
You hoped no one saw it. I couldn't miss it. I could see it in my left periphery and also in my right periphery on our monitor. There were 2 Ashtons.
Just a little windscreen wiper dance.
Just a little dance.
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed it.
Peter, what have you been playing?
Jesus Christ, I finished...
oh my God.
Well, yeah, wait till I tell you. I finished Inside. That takes a turn, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Does it?
God, yeah.
I never played.
Oh, haven't you?
Oh, it's an experience.
Wow.
I recommend it. It's not the longest game either.
Yeah.
You give it
I
a-
thought it would be like something like Limbo, where, yeah, it probably gets a bit more horrific as things go on, but I mean, I don't want to say too much, but that
Put
you.
my fingers in my ears.
Well, but then there's a load of people listening who might not have played it.
I
but
think
That's
we
true.
might have
It's
covered
been out
in
for a long
Everyone
weird
put your
time.
fingers in your ears.
the special edition. Did you remember this? We won't go into specifics. But
Oh, yeah, it came with like
the company. It was like
figurine or
it was
something.
Real Doll or something. The people who make the realistic sex dolls
yes.
were contracted to make a realistic, fleshy version of the thing.
I
you're
think
talking
if you
about.
don't want to know what happens in Inside, just don't listen for like a minute. But
Yeah.
the big fleshy ball man.
Yeah.
I thought, I assumed I'd be playing as a boy for the whole game, and then I wasn't. And I should have maybe remembered
he's in there
that.
somewhere.
Well, he is, yeah. I should have maybe remembered that thing, that weird news
Special
story
edition.
with the real flesh blob, but I'd completely forgotten about that. The noises it makes as well. It's just like,
It's like something out
multiple
of Rick and
people
Morty,
going.
isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Cursed.
So
All good.
Cool.
you probably heard my bassy tones through those.
I had a couple of things, but
Yeah.
I have
Anyway,
no context. So.
that was a real experience that I did not expect towards the end. I thoroughly enjoyed it in that it very much unnerved me, and I didn't really know how I felt about my actions and motivations as the game progressed. And, it's got that classic ambiguous lore as well, where you're like, I could create a story around what I've seen, but it's kind of up to the player to a certain extent to kind of work out exactly what is going on. But I really like that. I think it's really cool. And it's kind of, not speaking of which necessarily, but you could say the same about Dark Souls, for example, couldn't you?
Sure.
And speaking of Dark Souls, so that was a segue to a segue. I have also this week restarted for the first time since putting it down and almost deciding never to play it again, Jedi Fallen Order. For a couple of reasons. Firstly, there are rumors that at some point they're going to announce the sequel soon, maybe at Star Wars Celebration or something. And also because there are, again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, spoilers here, but based purely on the trailer. So it's nothing, I'm not like doing leaks, but if you've not been watching the trailers, there are Jedi Inquisitors in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So I feel like, oh yeah, I mean, they did a lot of that in the game. So I thought I'm going to go back, have a play through that,
Isn't there a
refresh my
little
memory.
robot in Obi-Wan as well? Or one of the
I don't know.
It did look
The
like
same
in the
robot.
trailer the little robot you have on your shoulder.
little mate.
Oh really?
might
I
be.
don't think I saw him. But
I
there is one of
think
those
so.
there was one of those in Boba Fett.
Was there?
Or maybe
Yeah,
it was
I
Boba
missed that.
Fett.
Yeah, just a little.
I know that I had seen one,
Yeah,
but
yeah. There was one of those there.
I
So
wasn't sure what sandy shot it was.
yeah, that's the thing. It's
which,
all
which studio
Tatooine.
they were in?
So yeah, I thought that might be something I want to kind of refresh my memory on. So I've also started playing that again.
Did you finish it when you first?
Yeah, I did. And then I said that, well, that's me done. I'm glad I've played it, but now I don't want to play it anymore. Partly because it's a bit Souls-like to some extent, and I found that kind of tricky and wearing, but also because Ben and I don't really like
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis. He just looks. He's got a really punchable face. We think.
The ginger guy.
Yeah.
He's. I don't enjoy him, and I also kind of found the game a bit grating.
I mean, it's not.
I didn't
it's not a
enjoy
great
it as
game.
much as everybody else did.
Yeah.
and I felt bad about that. But man,
I'm not like having a.
Cal's face didn't help.
Yeah.
Did it? Get a better.
I've
face,
always
Cal.
thought that he looks like grown-up Jimmy Hopkins from Bully, and Jimmy Hopkins is also a bit of an arse.
Yeah.
Even though he's sort of supposed to be, it's a kind of honor amongst thieves, like lovable rogue. It's like, yeah, but you're also a bit of a twat, to be honest. Yeah, we can say that.
Well, yeah,
Sure, you said it
technically-
now.
I said it now. So yeah, I mean, I'm not like loving like playing through it again, but I'm having enough fun. I'm like, yeah, okay, and here we go again. This is all right. And I think having played it once before as well, and knowing a bit more about what I can and can't do, and like the best way to play, I think I'm probably having a better time this time than first time round. So yeah,
Nice,
playing through that.
lovely.
Ashton.
I have been playing some Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've played about 2.5 hours of it, and then haven't picked it up since, but I just haven't had time. I'm really excited. It's really pretty, and I really like it.
Have you got through the first bombing run mission, or are you on that at the moment?
The first mission?
Yeah, like where you're trying to blow up the reactor.
Oh yeah. I've got off the train.
Okay.
As well, and then I stopped because I was drunk and sleepy. So it's
Both.
Good.
Golden combination.
And then over the weekend and this week, I've been playing some Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Over the weekend, I played it split screen because I was home with MB. And then last night we played co-op separately. So this game is a bit broken, not going to lie.
I've heard that the shift servers are kind of...
Oh my God. So
kind of down.
On the weekend, the shift servers were like down nearly all weekend. And that's the only way you can play online. So luckily we're playing split screen. Otherwise that would have been really rubbish. But you can't play online unless the shift servers are working. However, I opted out of the shift servers working. I said I didn't want to use them right now. Like, don't try and connect me. The game then insisted for the entire time we were playing over the weekend, it would try to connect me every single time it had the ability to. And every time it connected or disconnected from the shift network, it would slow my game down by like an insane amount. It was like chugging along for like a minute, and then it would fix itself. And about 5 minutes later, it would disconnect me from the network and chug along again for another minute. And it was really annoying. Also, the quest log doesn't always come up when you go in the menu. Like, I go in the menu and there's just blank.
They're good at menus,
none of the
aren't
quests
they?
are there.
They bloody love a menu.
I don't understand how they haven't improved some of the things from Borderlands 3 to make it just more accessible.
Because the engine is rubbish.
It's like, I really want to like this game more than I am, and I'm trying to get into it. I'm really, really trying to get into it. But there's so many things where I'm like, I have no idea what is going on. I pick things up and there's like so many different like bits of information, which has always been a Borderlands thing. But the inventory system is just crap and hard to understand and hard to like figure out what you've got and what you haven't got. And it's just not, they just haven't done any of the quality of life improvements that they should have done before releasing this game after Borderlands 3. They just haven't done it. Apparently the story is potentially better than Borderlands 3. So got that to look forward to, I guess. But
when the servers work.
On the servers work. But I played it last night. So split screen, don't even bother. You can't even look in your menu. It's just impossible to like see what you're even searching through. It doesn't come up with any like icons. You know how to differentiate different types of guns, there's like different icons in Borderlands. Well, when you're playing it on split screen, it just doesn't come up. So you don't know what kind of gun you're using or what kind of gun the new one you've picked up is. And it's really annoying. And I really want to like this game. I really want to like it. I still hate the overworld. I just think it slows the pace down of the game so much. And I just think that it's just a pointless addition. They really swung to try and be like, we've done something really cool with this game. And then I just can't, I don't get it. I don't like it. Because there's missions that you do solely in the overworld. So there's like a couple of like side quests that be like, go and punch this rock for me if you wouldn't mind. And you just go and punch a couple rocks and then go back and that's the end of the side quest. And I don't like the overworld. The game is very pretty. Like, don't get me wrong. When you're playing the game and you're in the areas, it's very pretty. And I like the customizable character mechanics. I like that when you're in the game, you can completely re-customize your character. I like that you pick up different things as you go through that then available from the get-go for another character if you're building a new one. I like it, that element of it. I think the gameplay is fine. I think not all of the skills are necessarily fun. I think certain skill trees and certain classes are more fun than others.
Is it narrated as though you're like all sitting around the table?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's
That's cool.
so what I don't really understand some elements of it because like so Valentine and Fret are like the two other characters that Andy Samberg and Wanda Sykes. And they are like just talking to you from above. They are the voices of above. And then you've got Tina who's kind of like telling you what to do and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's mainly got like character conversations in the game like various like other Borderlands games does.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they'll be like, oh, I don't really want to do this this quest. Can't we just keep it for ourselves? And then Tina's like, you won't get the XP if you don't do it. And then Valentine will be like, oh man, I really want to level up my character. And I'm like, you're not even in the game. You're not here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're just a voice from above. Like, you're not playing with me. You're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as much as I like the fact that we've got these other characters, I kind of just wish they were the player characters.
Right.
I kind of just wish you were playing as one of them and you just
picked.
You just
as
picked
class
one.
like the usual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I haven't learned we haven't figured out how to multi-class yet, but I think it's a lot of hinting that that will be something that you can do at some point, because you get class mods that are kind of like for 2 classes. So obviously you can pick and choose which ones you want to like use. But I don't know. It's just kind of, I'm really enjoying it playing with someone else. And I just think that I just feel like maybe the beginning couple of hours of the game are just not very enchanting. I just think they're a bit boring, and I think they're a bit bland. So I'm hoping that as I go through, it'll get more interesting. I think there's more overworlds as well. There's going to be 3 overworlds, which I thought, I wasn't sure if there was going to be when we did the Quipscope. So yeah, I'm really conflicted about Tiny Tina's. I really, really have a lot of feelings about it, but I just don't know how I feel about it.
I've heard a lot of really mixed stuff.
Yeah.
Critically, it seems to be kind of all over the place. It's landed a decent Metacritic average. I think it's like 80.
80%.
Yeah, which is, you know, that's
pretty good.
Perfectly fine. Like
I don't think this is as good as Horizon, which got, I think, 80%.
Well, it spreads woke propaganda, so it can't be.
Horizon got 80%.
I think it got, maybe it didn't get 90%, did it? No, I don't think it did.
You mean like in the 80s or?
Maybe in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it
I'm
got.
going to look it up now.
I'm looking forward to playing it. I've literally just started it up, gone into the character creator, and then I ran out of time, and I haven't had time to play it this week, and I won't until next week, which bums me out because I'm looking forward to it. And I actually
88%.
88. Okay. The more I played the pre-sequel, which I think is often viewed as like the red-headed stepchild of the Borderlands series, the more I actually quite like that one. So I am.
Which one?
The pre-sequel.
Oh yeah.
So I'm perfectly willing to like give this a real go, and it seems that the players, again talking about user reviews, really actually quite like it. Everyone I've spoken to, my friend really likes it. I had a couple of people on my stream this week say, "Oh, what do you think about Wonderlands? I'm really enjoying it."
Right.
I think it's not. I'm hesitant to say it's niche, but perhaps there's a real overlap of people who like tabletop RPGs and maybe just straight up Dungeons and Dragons.
I just don't feel like it really leans into it at all. I think it
really, because I've heard
just
that
kind of
the humor
around.
from that is really good. Apparently,
I
I don't
that
play
it's
tabletop RPGs.
referenced a lot, and I think that, but I don't think it's like, I don't think if you like D&D, you will like this game. Is necessarily true. I just think that it's like it's Borderlands, but it's just fantasy, and occasionally there'll be like roll. You don't roll anything. You don't like have any kind of luck in terms of like. Do you roll
you
to
think they would like
succeed this
implement
check?
stuff like actual
like,
kind of mechanics
you can
from
do
tabletop
things
games?
like make a choice if you want to like seduce. In certain side quests, you can be like, do you want to seduce this or do you want to intimidate this person?
Okay.
And you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll just press square to seduce. But there's no like kind of
Dialogue
roll
option or
to
anything.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Because you
see
can
what
do that in
get.
a lot of RPGs, like
Yeah.
choose to intimidate or
Exactly.
whatever.
So I'm not trying to say that your friends are wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say.
But it's not been your experience.
It's just not been. I just haven't
Okay.
seen that kind of level of it that I think I feel like maybe it's a me problem.
It
I
might
feel
just
like people do
not
really
be
enjoy it, but I'm
connecting
just
with
not-
you.
Yeah.
And that's
It's not
okay.
connecting
happens.
with
The fact
me.
you're enjoying it in co-op, which is something we talked about in the Quipscope,
Yeah.
I think says a lot. Is that, you know, the fundamentals are there, and you can still have great fun when you're messing around with friends. But maybe, you know, maybe it's just not one that you're going to enjoy, which is a shame.
Sad.
But you know, play it in co-op. You'll have
I'm
a
still
laugh.
going to finish it.
I'm still going to finish it. I'll complain the entire time, but I'm still going to finish
I'll have
it.
a bad time, but I'll finish it.
I'm looking forward to playing that eventually. Is that all you played?
That's all I played this week.
Okay. Beyond starting up that and just doing the character creator, I've played a little bit more WWE 2K22. I've really been enjoying downloading weird custom wrestlers and simming the matches and just seeing what happens.
Yeah.
So Kratos, he's won the tag team titles with Batman. He beat Deadpool and Spider-Man for those, obviously.
Excellent.
Of course.
I like how it's 3 superheroes and Kratos.
Yeah, and Kratos. Yeah, the online servers were down at the time because, of course, they were. So I couldn't download any additional created wrestlers, but that we had Batman, Kratos, Spider-Man, Deadpool. I think maybe Triple H was in there and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they were all just competing for a belt. Kratos won. Well done, Kratos.
Well done,
Then I
Kratos.
put Kratos in a ladder match against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, and Kratos
won.
He nearly won.
Oh,
But Big Brock Lesnar stole the day. So that was fun.
Damn
And
it, Brock.
I just had great fun earlier this week scrolling through maybe the first 20 pages of
Yeah.
their custom creator ones, and I've downloaded
Did you download
so much weird stuff.
Matt from Wii Sport?
I did download Matt from Wii Sports.
Nice.
Yeah, he's there. The guy who claps cheeks, as the meme says. There's also, I've got Barney the Dinosaur.
Oh,
I've got a
good.
few superheroes. I've got Mario and Luigi. Who else? There's just some really weird stuff in there. I can't remember. Shrek. Got Shrek.
of
Of
course.
course.
That was probably the first
so-
character anyone ever made.
Yeah.
First person to get a copy of that game.
Mate, got to make Shrek. I got to make the best Shrek. Doesn't even. In fact, I don't even have to make the best Shrek. I just have to be the first Shrek,
Yeah.
and then everyone it'll appear in the most downloaded. So some I don't know what I'm going to do with those, but I have gone in and I've changed all their stats, not to like what I think is appropriate, but I just think as custom, as legendary boys and girls, I just put all their stats to like 100. So
Right.
if I ever have any more of these stupid matches where I sim them, they're all level pegging at least.
Yeah.
So that was good. Elden Ring, I've still been playing some Elden Ring despite platinuming it, going in and helping out some friends of mine, doing a bit of co-op, leaving the end area in my main game and doing some other stuff that I haven't done, leveling up my healing flask a bit, and finding some more upgrade materials that I'd missed and stuff. So it's such a good game. It's so good, and I really enjoy it. And that is everything that I have played.
Well, I guess it's time for question 2 then. This question comes from Hoodlum Amnesium. Hey Bap, long-time listener, first-time question asker. How do you all feel about difficulty-related trophies? Do you feel that they are unnecessary for the casual gamer who is looking to add a platinum or two to their trophy list? Or are they required to make a platinum feel a bit more special? I personally just like them due to my skill in gaming, but would love to hear your thoughts. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Hoodlum.
I've just realised I've slightly misinterpreted this question, but my
Okay.
answer still is, I think, basically relevant in that I've not specifically talked about difficulty-related trophies like complete the game on insane mode. I've talked about very difficult trophies.
Right, and sometimes those are the same as difficulty trophies
Yeah.
if they're particularly hard. And this goes for achievements as well.
Yes, it does. So you'll have to excuse my answer, which doesn't specifically relate to hardest mode trophies, but the same applies, I think. I think it's nice to have that as a mark of achievement. If you are serious about playing a certain game, you think you're really good at it, and you're able to complete a game on the hardest mode, it's nice to be able to say to people, or to show people, hey, I did this, good for me. Like I remember, I've talked before about how I've played through the Halo games on Legendary. I did way back. I did the first one in co-op with Peter's gamer uncle, who hasn't had a mention for months now. So that was long overdue. But then, since then I've done them solo as well. They're very, very hard. I mostly did it for just my own sense of achievement, and also to unlock the secret endings that you often get with those. But it's also, I suppose, it's nice to then be able to say, see that achievement there, because I'm good. However, I think some of them are ridiculous, and I can't imagine anyone has any fun completing them. And then all you're left with is, being able to say, I did that. But then it's like, is it worth it? So here are some non-difficulty related achievements in that sense. But Bladder of Steel in Rock Band 2, you have to play 84 songs without failing once and without pausing the game, which takes 6 hours. So you have to stand there for 6 hours playing 84 songs without failing any one of them.
We have a
God.
list on a very similar topic, by the way. I don't suppose you know what it's called. Is it like impossible achievements / trophies you will never unlock, or something like that?
I think so.
Go check it out, because there's some really stupid stuff.
Another one, I tried to talk about this one months ago on the podcast, and I couldn't remember the specifics, but Gears of War 5 requires you to get 100,000 kills in versus mode, not in campaign, like against real people. And someone did the math, and that works out as if you play every single day and get 50 kills a day in multiplayer mode, it will still take you 5.5 years to do every day.
Oh my God.
You know, so
online trophies and achievements should be illegal.
Banned.
they should be.
Apart from maybe just you played your first game of multiplayer.
Yeah, just to encourage you to.
Because the hardest trophies and achievements are for the games that have had their servers switched off.
Yeah.
Which are now unobtainable. Like they are impossible to achieve.
Yeah, that's infuriating. But so I mean, yeah, it's kind of it's not much of an answer, but I think I see the reasoning for them and why some people would be glad to sit there and grind through and unlock them and be proud to have the trophies. But it must be frustrating for people who they're not in it to like show off how good at gaming they are. They're in it because they just find it satisfying to like sort of know that they've completed a game and got the platinum and ticked it off.
Yeah.
And if you're the kind of person who either doesn't have the skill or doesn't have the time to complete nightmare difficulty, that's got to be a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Ashton?
I do not like them. They make me annoyed when I see them. And I like that now they have their own little folder in some games where they don't affect my platinum. I can still get a platinum and ignore the little folder that says 0 out of 3 trophies obtained.
In
that
particular,
says New Game Plus.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man did it, and I think
it?
Horizon
Yeah.
did it as well.
Did it? Did they add a new game? Because they went through a period,
the
Sony, of
the
like
first
patching in
one
new game
did.
pluses and stuff.
Maybe the first one changed their trophy list to
Okay.
be like New Game Plus and
Yeah, I definitely
ultra
didn't.
hard.
I definitely didn't get a difficulty trophy in that.
I just don't like them because I think that they are just stupid because not everyone's good at games, and I also think that like making someone play it on a difficulty that is not their preferred difficulty just to get the trophy is just stupid. I like getting trophies. I don't like actively pursue them like Ben does, but like if I'm doing a game that I think I can get all these trophies, then I will make a point of going and getting all the trophies, check through the list to make sure there's things that I can be like, I can win a race. I can do that. So I will just go through and do them. But I don't like it when it says complete this game on ultra hard. And also, I don't mind a new game plus. A new game plus is fine because maybe I will go back and play the game again.
And it might be a lot easier if you've got this bulked out character.
Yeah, exactly. But ultra hard or insanity or whatever, I think one is a difficulty that I think very few people would ever choose to put their game on unless for the trophies. And I just think it alienates a whole bunch of people who, like you say, are more of a casual gamer than a like hardcore kind of has to be the best kind of situation. And I personally probably wouldn't bother getting that trophy in anything. I play on easy or normal most of the time because I just want to enjoy the game. I don't want to have to like plod my way through and get killed by everything the entire time. And I like also being able to snaffle all the resources. And when they're like, there's actually like only 3 resources in the entire map, I'm like, well, that's mean. What am I going to snaffle? So yeah, I don't really like them personally. But if you are someone who does like them, that's fine. Just please put them in a separate folder so I can just ignore them and do all the other ones that get me the platinum rather than having to do these 3 separate ones.
Yeah, because those people can then still complete nightmare mode or whatever and show people, hey, I got that nightmare trophy. But it doesn't then stop everyone else from still getting the platinum.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
Because I think platinums are sometimes hard enough without having to add in a ridiculously hard trophy or play the game on impossible difficulty.
Well, even stuff like that voice lines one was that in Nier Automata? The one where you had to sit through and like listen to every single voice line in the game. You did a trophy very recently.
Did I? Which was that?
I didn't remember you talking about.
Yeah, every like in-game line of dialogue, and you had to like look. There was like a guide that like gave you certain circumstances where like some of them are likely to come up, but then a few of them are just pure luck based.
You might have purchased the trophy in the
It was
end.
pretty recently. You must have really just purged it out of your memory because
Yeah.
Was it definitely near?
it might
don't
not have
know if
been
it was
near.
near.
I mean, I did get the platinum in.
Was it a Persona game?
God, what was it? This is like not ringing a bell at all.
Oh my god, you talked about it on 2 different podcasts.
Oh no. Oh, Persona 4.
Oh, what's
Persona 4
It was
right?
it was the right. Okay, yes. Now I remember. It was the battle dialogue. The
Yeah,
lines of
yeah.
it's not trackable, and it's 250 lines of resays.
Yeah, not trackable as well.
And you just have to like go into dungeons and try and manufacture like these scenarios where different party members are poisoned, and just like skip your goes until she says, "Oh no, you're poisoned! Oh no,
it's broken.
But she's got a unique one for that was stupid.
And that's not hard
No.
in the skill sense. It's just
a stupid
Stupid.
trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid trophy.
It's really dumb.
So yeah.
I don't
don't know.
begrudge difficulty trophies. I don't begrudge them being there. And I have earned my fair share of really upsettingly challenging difficulty trophies. Mass Effect, the original ones. Seemingly, it's just BioWare. Dragon Age Inquisition was terrible to the extent where I had to like follow a guide to have a special build that would be the most overpowered and broken to help me get through it. The Uncharted difficulty trophies are often no fun at all. I think The Last of Us Part 1 had one, but The Last of Us Part 2 didn't have a difficulty trophy, which was a mercy, quite frankly.
I don't know if Halo still does, but did back in the day.
I think most games have kind of started phasing them out now because
And
I
I'm
think
not-
people don't like.
I'm not sad about it, but equally, if I see it in there, I'm not going to be annoyed. Like, for example, playing through, I've spoken about it before, Batman Arkham City. I did that on the hardest difficulty right off the bat, and it got rid of the counter symbol above your head.
Right.
And so I felt like Batman.
Yeah.
Like I had to read enemies like cues to like understand when to press the counter button. And that was great. And I really enjoyed experiencing it that way. Likewise, when they patched in New Game Plus and a hard difficulty trophy for Spider-Man, I played through it again. And admittedly, like I skipped all the cutscenes and stuff, but like I really enjoyed the challenge because I could do it in New Game Plus, and that was actually really fun. But I totally get why people don't want them, and you guys are right in that if they're going to be included, have them be there, but like just have them in a subfolder so people like me, if they're interested, can go for them. But clearly, and I've heard this reported before, I don't know how true it is, Sony specifically have seen real benefits to having achievable platinums specifically in Spider-Man because a lot of people get them. And it makes business sense, I suppose, that if you make your platinums not easy but achievable, that people will, if they like your game, they'll want to stick around and get all the trophies. They'll play it for longer. They'll talk about it more.
Yeah,
Say
they'll
I got the
post
platinum
it,
in this game. Yeah.
And it becomes a whole thing. And Sony are quite good at that. When you get a platinum in something, they'll sometimes send you an email with an avatar in it, or like a redeemable code with a theme or something for PS4. So there are reasons for difficulty trophies being or not being there, but I am secretly, as a trophy hunter, I'm secretly quite happy when there's no difficulty trophy, because it just makes my life that much easier. Because I would suffer, and I have had games ruined by forcing my way through them on the hardest difficulty, getting frustrated, and then not wanting to play them again for years because of it, because it's always the last thing I do. So I think it's beneficial to the experience, but I don't mind if they're there.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's time for weird news, isn't it? I'll catch you by surprise.
Yeah.
It's weird news time for some weird video game news. Did you know that if you look out for our special weird news post, as I was thinking of the Patreon podcast post, then that's not it, on social media, you can submit weird news to us and we could read it out and it'll give you a shout out at the same time. But a special shout out at the beginning of Weird News has to go to our podcast producers who have supported us at a certain tier on patreon.com/Team TripleJump and are basically the sponsors of Weird News. And we're going to shout them out right now. Peter.
Nathan.
Josh Plain.
Jacket Omega.
Sean Legg.
GY Goliath.
Corey Duffel.
Ellie Nicholas.
Erica Hutchinson.
Melody L. Burnett.
Katie Garrett.
Gabrielle Philippink.
Gan.
And Gabrielle
Gan and
Philippink.
Brielle Philipping. Thank you so much to our podcast producers. Once again, patreon.com/Team TripleJump.
Thank you very much. We have had, I have got a weird news here that was submitted
I forgot to check who my news was from.
by Marmy Arame or possibly Mami Arami, which is an excellent name if that is indeed, if it's
That's your real name.
if that is your real name. No, if that's how it's pronounced, then that's a great name. This was open before the segment started, and then I locked my phone, and now it's gone again.
Damn it.
Which is great. Show more replies. Getting there. Here it is. According to Kotaku.com, written by Ethan Gach. Mm-hmm. Internet angrily descends on wrong Will Smith and Chris Rock after Oscars slap. This is gaming adjacent.
Okay.
There is some gaming context in there. That's why it's on Kotaku. Social media mistaken identity reaches new heights during the 2022 Oscars. The internet is a mess, especially after something big happens that pierces the online zeitgeist and bleeds it dry.
Wow.
Right now, that's the fact that newly minted Oscar winner Will Smith seemingly slapped two-time Oscars host Chris Rock over a poor joke, in quotes it says, regarding Jada Pinkett Smith last night's 2022 Academy Awards. And as millions rushed to post their feelings about something that had nothing to do with them, people who are not the Will Smith or the Chris Rock, but still happen to share their legal names, were caught in the social media crossfire. Welp, tweeted video game publicist and former Maximum PC editor-in-chief Will Smith on Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. ET, shortly after the Oscars incident was broadcast live around the world. The game developer followed up with, "Oh, flip," but he used a stronger word, after Smith was later named Best Actor for his role in last year's King Richard. In the aftermath of the slap, which was reportedly done in defense of Pinkett Smith's public battle with an autoimmune disorder that can result in hair loss, many attempted to tag the Will Smith on Twitter to yell about what happened. But at some point, the Fresh Prince actor had locked his account, so they got other Smith instead, at Will Smith. This is seemingly what happens when famous ESPN sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, who blasted the actor for the incident, but in doing so sent... Hang on, is this missing a verb? This is seemingly what happened to famous ESPN sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, who blasted the actor for the incident, but in so doing sent a viral flip storm the other Smith's way. Real talk, I'm not happy with the person you're upset/happy with, other Smith later tweeted. I make podcasts and video games for a living. Smith currently does... I wish they'd, specifically... Stop talking about Smiths. Smith, not the celebrity
Journalist
one.
Smith.
Journalist Smith currently does communications for Stray Bombay, which recently released the co-op shooter, the Anacrusis, in early access on Xbox. At the risk of making people pissed off at me instead of that other guy, the world would be a better place if we stopped answering words with violence. Smith did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So Kotaku reached out to him. Some people tried to play along with the internet's latest case of mistaken identity. I think you two need to hug it out, one person wrote to journalist Smith jokingly.
Is he a journalist? I feel like I've got that wrong. Publicist Smith.
Well, yes.
Public Smith.
Yeah, he's not a journalist.
Public Smith.
Jokingly tagging at Chris_Rock, who also happens to be a veteran game developer. Learn to accept a joke. I mean, your wife did, game developer Chris Rock wrote back. Meanwhile, the comments beneath the exchange were filled with accounts sincerely trying to weigh in on one side or another of the fight. Sorry, but he needs to apologize. Jada personally, not you. She's an independent woman, responded one person who can't string a sentence together. Why the violence, though? No one wants to see that! ! Wrote another. Other not Will Smith accounts also got bombarded. It's obviously at a high point right now, said Good Will Smith. That's a drone music trio with just a few thousand followers. I would say it's actually a mixed bag. Some people being like, that was despicable and you should be ashamed. And some people being like, thank you for standing up for your family. Chris Rock got what he deserved. Based on the screenshot shared with Kotaku, one person had approvingly DM'd Good Will Smith, the Welcome to Earth clip from the movie Independence Day, where Will Smith punches an alien in the face. The article continues, but I think we're sort of off track on actual gaming-related mistaken identities. So,
and we will never talk about Will Smith again. You have our
Which
promise. Either of them.
Either of them.
Will Smith.
Either of
I think
them.
everyone's heard enough about Will Smith after
They absolutely have.
after this week.
I thought that was too weird news not to include, but
Two journalists,
yeah.
not journalists, one journalist.
and one developer called Will Smith and Chris Rock.
That is unfortunate. It's like John Lewis. Every
Yeah.
year, the guy on Twitter from America called John Lewis has to tweet out and say it's not my Christmas advert.
Yeah.
I didn't
Stop
do the
tweeting
advert.
me
Please
about
stop
the
tweeting
advert.
me.
He really should just change his handle.
No, I think it's a tradition. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got
I guess he kind of likes it now.
Yeah, it's funny.
I have some weird news also. Comes
Do
from
you?
Fergus Jeffs on the Facky book.
That was scary.
Flippy book.
That was really scary there.
This is from PC Gamer by Morgan Park. Call of Duty player tries to prove he isn't cheating, accidentally proves he's cheating.
Hey!
A tournament winner who previously earned thousands has been exposed by himself.
Oh dear.
Classic.
A Call of Duty Vanguard player accidentally revealed himself to be cheating while competing in an unofficial paid tournament this week. After drawing some suspicion about the legitimacy of his play, COD streamer Kenji apparently tried to prove he wasn't cheating by pointing a webcam at his monitor and streaming during a 2v2 search and destroy match. Kenji's team won the 2v2 match, but his competitors, I'm Suzuki and I Lovely, decided to dispute the results with the tournament hosting service Checkmate Gaming. While reviewing Kenji's stream, Checkmate noticed something strange. As shared in a clip on Twitter, at one point, Kenji's monitor cam plainly shows that he's using wall hacks, a common cheat where you can see enemies through walls. You can tell by the floating rectangle that appears on screen. Those are boxes drawn around enemy players that Kenji can track across the map. The stream the clip originates from has since been deleted by Kenji, along with his entire channel, but you can watch his competitors discover his wall hack in the archive on their stream. Following the investigation, Kenji's been banned from Checkmate Gaming, where he apparently earned nearly $4,000 since late 2020 playing COD. If that wasn't enough, the collegiate league Kenji competed in, the College COD League, issued Kenji a permanent ban and disqualified his other 4 teammates representing Grand Canyon University in the league. The league announced its decision this morning on its official Discord server. Kenji is permanently banned from the CCL, the statement reads. Grand Canyon University is disqualified for the rest of 2022 season and post-season. All GCU players listed below that competed alongside Kenji are banned until the beginning of 2023 and may return competing in the 2023 series.
Oh dear.
What a dingus.
While this particular story of cheating has a funny ending, it doesn't reflect well on Call of Duty's competitive integrity. Despite the best efforts of Activision's dedicated Ricochet anti-cheat software, it's still possible for players to inject their games with cheats and even use them to win thousands of dollars.
Because if he'd not presumably if he'd not shared that clip, no one would have known.
Yeah. And as long as you don't record yourself using the cheats and push it on the internet, it's apparently not that hard to get away with it. Kenji.
This is
Silly
why
little gremlin.
I haven't played Warzone for a long time because it's rubbish now, and it's Activision and they've ruined it for several reasons. But it's the main reason why I always resented having to play in crossplay to find a match, because PC players have such a huge advantage anyway.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you can, it says there's like a symbol as to what platform they're playing on. And you can tell when it's a PC player. And you always have that thought, and it's not just anger at being killed by a better player. It's like they leapt round that corner firing. How do people do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Cheaters, they're cheating.
I can't believe this guy was so dense that he wouldn't turn off cheats before recording himself playing it.
Yeah.
Look,
it's
I'm
so
not using
obvious.
cheats.
I wouldn't have known that this was cheats, but you can literally see, there's a video on the link in the description, but you can literally see the squares appearing on the screen as to where his enemies are.
God.
Right there.
Why
wouldn't you just turn it off, dumbass? You
My
big
friend
dummy.
installed the game for me. I thought this is just how it was.
Yeah, you just see the squares.
Idiot.
Ridiculous.
My weird news is one I found myself. This comes from Push Square. We know that one. And Robert Ramsey. I know that one. The headline is,
Random. What's Nintendo Life? Push Square, what are you doing? Get off there.
All the same parent company.
Yeah, it is.
Guilty Gear's beef with former US President Bill Clinton concludes 23 years later.
Oh my god, the beef's the same age as me.
Oh,
Specially aged
probably a bit smelly.
Ashton Matthews, specially aged beef.
Smell like beef.
Hopefully not 23-year-old beef.
The year is 1999, and Bill Clinton is president of the United States of America.
Oh my God, have I had a stroke?
Yes, but it's not to do with this.
I'm a baby.
And Ashton Matthews
It's
is
a baby.
is small beef.
Yes.
The ever-growing popularity of video games is causing a stir, and Clinton, I'm having a stroke now, decides to highlight the potential dangers of our favorite hobby during a now much memed speech. He presents a number of violent video game magazine ads to onlookers, the most infamous being an advertisement for the original Guilty Gear. Said ad reads, "Kill your friends guilt-free." Needless to say, Clinton wasn't a fan. And with the popularity of Guilty Gear Strive, this speech has seen a serious resurgence, forming the basis for countless internet memes and references.
Squeaky clean Bill Clinton is not a fan of slightly problematic
Weird,
video
the
games.
deflection of people who are in the wrong.
Yeah.
Of course, this all took place 23 years ago when Ashton was small beef. And we never thought that Guilty Gear would cross paths with Bill Clinton again. But here we are. Strive's latest update, which adds what is essentially a photo mode where you can arrange character models and share creations with other users, has allowed players to pick out a familiar presidential figure. In the game's new White House-based stage, a portrait of not quite Bill Clinton is visible in the background. The man himself once again finds his fate entangled with that of gaming's most hard-rocking fighter.
It's Bill Clinton.
Bull.
Steady now.
Bill Clinton.
Obviously, it's just a fun nod, but it still makes for an entertaining story when you put it all together. 1990s game advertisements really were something else, weren't they? Let's
I
have a
don't know
look
if
at
that ends the beef, but I suppose,
Yeah, it's finished.
they
There's
win.
no coming back from that.
Bill Clinton's in the
Oh,
game.
I mean, it is Bull Clinton, isn't it? Look at it. It's so smeared
Oh,
and
wow.
blurry.
Bull Clinton.
But it's definitely him.
It's like if Bill Clinton was Slender Man.
Yes.
He's going to like abduct children.
It's kind of like if you just described Bill Clinton, if you having never seen him. apart
Drawn
from
Bill
one time.
Clinton from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you gave like only 3 or 4 pictures to an AI of Bill Clinton,
Yeah.
and it just had to do it based on that.
Yeah.
Generate a nude Tade. There we are. That's my weird news. Let's move on to question 3.
Question 3 is from Fergus Jeffs, who says, "Hi, dudes and dudettes." Billy and Emma included. As April Fool's Day is coming up again, we are bound for some hilarious video game japery from our favorite developers, publishers, and reviewers. With that said, if you were to execute an April Fool's stunt this year to try and successfully fool gaming consumers, what would be your stunt, and what current video game or console would you have the stunt impact for this temporary period? Happy 160 podcasts.
150.
150 as well.
150, yeah.
Thank you. 10 hilarious, in quote marks, video game April Fool's jokes now on the channel. Timelily asked Fergus, but
We
go
used to
watch
do
that video.
joke lists and people just didn't watch them.
So we stopped. So we started taking the piss out of everyone else.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from a place
If
of
we can't have
insecurity.
fun, you can't either.
We haven't based our entire channel about criticizing other people's hard work. What are you talking about? We're fine.
If I was a very highly respected video game journalist, perhaps someone who's known for like accurate leaks, things like that.
You would ruin your integrity in one day. Is that
Well, no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
See, this is the thing. I thought with April Fool's Day coming up, people know that anything you say on April Fool's Day is probably an April Fool's Day joke. So I thought, how would you get around that? And I thought, I've got one where I can like wholeheartedly promise that what I'm reporting or what I'm teasing is true. I say it's just, I am going to drop it on the 1st of April because that's when I can. But I'm telling you that I'm not going to say, lol, just joking, this isn't true. But I would then just very cleverly tease the right teases. So I would say, guys, I've got big news from the video games industry. I've got a game that people have been waiting for a very long time. It's a hugely popular franchise. It's sold millions. And I I can't reveal anything until the 1st of April, but the letters HL mean anything to you? Letters HL mean anything to you? Coming this year, and then on April Fool's Day, I would say Hogwarts Legacy is coming out very soon. People have been waiting for that game for a while. It's a very popular franchise. It's coming. I mean, it would sort of ruin my integrity, but it wouldn't be a lie.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
No, it wouldn't be a lie. You are
Right.
correct.
Half-Life 3 unconfirmed. That's what I would do.
I'm not very good at pranks.
Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro. But I think what would be funny if you just made Cyberpunk broken again just for the day.
Just unpatch.
Unpatch it.
Yeah.
Just take all the patches out just for the 1st of April. So if you booted it up, it was just a buggy old mess.
They should put
That would
not
be
even
good.
like the launch day version, but like a sort of beta patch that they've
yeah.
still got lying around
Yeah.
somewhere in the studio.
And then when everyone's going, what the heck? Why is Cyberpunk broken again? You just go, oh, it's just a prank, bro.
Patch coming out at midday.
It's
lol.
just Keanu Reeves going, oh, it's just a prank, bro.
But then they just gradually patch it back to where
Yeah.
it was in the same
Yeah.
sequence.
You get every hour you get a new patch. how unbroken can the game get? That's what I'd do.
That'd be good.
That's a good
That'd
one.
be
I
fun.
like
Just a
that.
prank, bro.
If it wasn't probably highly illegal from a potentially stock manipulation perspective and putting the fear of God into investors, if Sony or Xbox just put out a tweet saying, we're buying Konami, nobody would know if it was real or
Yeah.
not. Nobody, because it is totally believable.
Yeah.
And even though everyone knows that it's April Fool's, I think a lot of people say, they can't joke about that, right?
Well, there's a couple
Surely
of things
they can't do a joke
happening
about
on
that.
April Fool's Day this year that have already been announced. People are saying, "Oh, I'm like releasing this thing," or like this series starts, or like whatever on April Fool's Day. I've seen like multiple things where people are like, "Wait, but 1st of April. So like, is this? But why would you? If it's going to be a joke, like why would you say now?" And so yeah, people still think like things still have to happen on that day. Like business doesn't revolve around the fact that it's the 1st of April.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That would be mine, just to really throw the world into chaos and tank some stock prices.
Just bants.
It's just the bounce, guys.
Yeah.
It's just our
And then the
bands.
people at Konami going,
What? Everything's on fire.
what?
Hang on.
Who did it?
If I was Sony or Microsoft, I would say I'm buying Atari because then Soldier Boy would be at home
Yeah.
going, "Wait, what?
I am the
This
owner
is
of
mine.
I've not
Atari.
agreed to sell.
I own it.
I'm
It
the
is
CEO
mine.
of Atari.
It's Atari. It's me.
I've signed 2 contracts with Atari.
I am the Atari boy.
Yeah.
I own Atari.
Follow at Atari on Twitter.
It's me, the Atari owner.
Yeah.
It's time for the big discussion.
Oh.
It's big discussion time. Time for the big discussion. This week's big discussion comes courtesy of Trigger Mappy, who says, "Hi, Bap. I hope you are all doing well. Glad to see Ben's back. Thank you."
Hey, see,
There it is.
there's Ben's back.
Sports time.
Wow.
Glad to see Ben's back.
Me too.
Aren't we all?
Always want to see the back of Ben.
Well, I'll just leave, shall I? Sony PlayStation just announced their new... Sony PlayStation is good. I like the full
Sony
name.
PlayStation. Yeah.
Sony, actually, it's Sony Interactive Entertainment PlayStation. But
Limited.
Thank you. Limited. LLC.
PLC,
All of them.
LTD.
Registered trademark.
Copyright.
Just announced their new subscription service to compete with Microsoft. And personally, not really too excited of what they've shown. It's a bit expensive as well for what they're offering. Just want to know your take on this. Is Sony's Game Pass justified, especially the price? And what games would you like to see there? Thank you. Keep up the good work. You're my favorite channel. I love Ben. And Peter and Ashton too.
Thanks, Trigger Man.
That's actually what it says.
I did. I made Trigger
There's
Mappy
an
sound
exclamation
completely
Like a
unhinged.
robot.
Completely unhinged there. But thank you so much. We love you too. Right, I've got some facts and figures here. Should
Yeah,
we
can you
learn
give us a
about what's
breakdown?
Hit us
going
with
on?
those facts, Ben Potter.
Here we go. So there's a link to a Push Square article in the description. A lot of Push Square chatter today, but
Push squash.
But they're good.
They're good and they're PlayStation specialists, so it makes sense. It's incredibly blurry, the photos that I've
That's real
taken, so I've got to
tiny.
get really close to it. So there are 3 tiers: PS Plus Essential, PS Plus Extra, and PS Plus Premium. What do you get for PS Plus Essential? Well, I'm glad you asked, Ashton.
Hey,
What do you
Ben,
get?
what do you get for
I'll
PS
tell
Plus
you.
Essential?
I'll tell you.
Okay,
I will tell you.
thank you.
So the price is staying the same across the board. This is what you have right now. You will get monthly PS5 and PS4 downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage, online multiplayer access. That's what you get with that.
Cool.
PS Plus Extra.
Hey, Ben,
Ashton,
what'd you get with PS Plus Extra?
I'm so glad you asked.
Thanks.
I'm going to tell you now. PS Plus Extra is £10.99, €13.99, and $14.99 dollar dues. And annually, the price goes up to $83.99, $99.99, and $99.99, respectively. With that, you get everything from PS Plus Essential, which is monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage, online multiplayer access. But you also get a downloadable catalog of nearly 400 PS5 and PS4 games. That's what you get in addition. PS Plus Premium.
Hey, Ben.
Yes, Peter.
What is in PS Plus Premium?
I'm going to tell you right now.
Thanks.
Thanks,
PS
Ben.
You're welcome, Ashton. PS Plus Premium is their most expensive tier. That is $13.49, $16.99, and £17.99 sterling, euros, and dollars, respectively. And also annually, $99.99, $119.99, and $119.99. You get everything from PS Plus Extra, but you also get PS3 game streaming, PS1, PS2, and PSP game catalog for download and streaming, and you also get time-limited game trials. So there are 3 new tiers, wildly different prices. We don't know what games are in there. I do have a quick quote here from SIE President and CEO Jim Ryan.
Hey, Ben, what
local
did
boy.
Jim Ryan say?
Do it in your best Geordie accent.
He's got quite a muted one.
Yeah,
hasn't
he has, because he's a businessman.
Because he's a businessman, and there are no business people from Newcastle. We can
Nuh-uh.
confirm that.
It's true.
Because we're here. He was talking to gamesindustry.biz, and he is talking in this regard, just to head off this potential topic of conversation, about whether or not, similar to Game Pass, big first-party exclusives will be day one on the most, the premium services there. In terms of putting our own games into this service, terrible impression, I'm sorry, or any of our services upon their release. As you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. We feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, the virtuous cycle will be broken. That's a reference to something he was talking about earlier that I cut out. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers want. So, Peter Austin, how does it even compare to Game Pass? Is it fair to compare the two? Are you interested? And what would make you buy it if you were to?
I'll tell you what bothers me, I think more than anything else, is the split of the top 2 tiers. That I don't understand why they didn't just... I get the idea of offering what they've got now and continuing to offer that, and then saying, with this additional stuff, with all this library of games, we'll maybe put that as a separate tier. Some people might not want that, so why should we suddenly start charging them extra and say, it's one price, this is the new deal. So fair enough to split them like that, but I don't think then they should split those top 2 from each other. I think they should have just made a huge library of games. That would be more comparable to Game Pass. And if it had to be somewhere between those 2 prices, or even maybe if it had to be that top end price, but just everything together, I think that makes more sense. I feel a little bit hard done by that. I essentially have to pay extra to play PS1 and PS2 games, which arguably are probably easier to emulate than the more recent stuff. I also find it... I know the technology is complicated for the PS3, and it infamously so, and it was hard to develop for.
You've got to find a solution at this point. Just do it.
They have all the specs, they have all the rights to the technology, and they are the only people, or they are the best placed people to come up with a decent PS3 emulator. It's not impossible.
It already exists. There is an emulator, and it's not perfect, but that was reverse engineered by internet nerds.
So why are they only streamable and not downloadable? It feels a little bit like, not to the same extent, but a bit like how they were with their PS1 Mini, where they've kind of...
There you go.
They've,
100 quid.
Yeah, we'll sort of put a bit of time into it, do enough that we can justify it actually trying to flog it to you, and then say, give us some money. You know, I think the fact that you can't, they've not even gone as far as to say, oh, and we've got, you know, a nice PS3 emulator software to download onto your console that will run these games. You know, I think it just seems like they've not gone as far as they should. I don't know how interested I am until I see what is available in these libraries. So at the moment, I'm reserving judgment. But in terms of whether it's comparable to Game Pass, I don't think it's as good as Game Pass. I don't think it's so out there and so lacking that you can't compare the two. I think you can compare them, but I think in making that comparison, I come to the conclusion that it's not as good, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that Xbox Game Pass and the new PlayStation Plus are actually vastly different things. I think that Xbox Game Pass kind of find that their mentality is providing the most for gamers in like one place. Like you've got old games, you've got brand new games, you've got games that like are kind of in the middle. Like they've got their big back catalogue, and then they've got these brand new ones. Whereas I think PlayStation Plus is less about new games being accessible to gamers. It's now more about old games and kind of the nostalgia factor that I don't think Game Pass, that you have to pay more. But I don't think Game Pass is the same thing. I think Game Pass is looking to the future of what Xbox will produce, whereas this is looking into the past of what PlayStation have produced in the past. I probably won't bother going any higher than the extra tier. I don't really have a lot of desire to play games pre-PlayStation 3 even. So, and that's at a push. So I think that like I probably wouldn't bother even going for the highest tier. And like you say, a lot of the time these games can be emulated for free and pretty much pretty easily done, to be fair. So I think that to charge £17, $16.99
for the most expensive, $13.49 a month.
$13.49. I think that like to charge that much money for it is. I don't think it's
a tough sell, isn't it?
It's a tough sell.
It would have to have a really good library, and I don't think it's going to. I think it'll be.
It's nearly
there'll be all kinds of rights
price.
issues for anything that wasn't produced by SIE or SCE. You know, that's got to be difficult for them to nail down.
Well, they've said like 700 games, and you kind of think like, well, how many games did PlayStation Now have? Maybe like.
That's the thing that I
300
neglected to
maybe?
mention is that PlayStation Now is going.
Yeah,
and it's being rolled
merged
in.
into this.
So you're right, Ashton. You know, we're talking about the big difference here is that PlayStation Now doesn't have any PS5 games, and this will have PS5 games.
But what
apparently.
PS5 games? If they're not going to put new games on there, what games are they going to put on?
Well,
there?
that's exactly the point.
This is the
I've
thing
had a
that's
subscription to
confusing me.
PlayStation Now, and until they specify which games it is, this huge number that they're claiming could quite easily be just the stuff that was already on PlayStation Now, which is a collection of some really good stuff and some baffling,
Weird mystery
like
stuff.
tiny indie things that signed up at the start. 2 chapters of like a Telltale game where they never uploaded the rest.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this it? You're just rebranding PlayStation Now and saying you get access to a catalog of nearly 400 games, but it's just the PlayStation Now catalog.
But I think the thing is like, that's the issue, is that there's nothing new. Like they've kind of just merged the two together, which I think is kind of around the same price. If you're paying for both of them, is the same price as premium anyway. So if you are paying for, Plus and Now, you're not going to be paying necessarily any more, but you're also not going to be really getting anything more for your money. They've just like rebranded. It's not anything new. It's not nothing we've not seen. It's not anything we haven't seen before from PlayStation in the last couple of years. It's nothing new, and I'm a bit underwhelmed, to be honest, about what this. I never expected it to be insane, but maybe at least they'll make PlayStation Now the UI a bit nicer.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's not good.
Because didn't they say there was going to be PC streaming available?
The thing is that they're already, like,
As well.
PlayStation Now already exists on PC, and it's not very well publicized. You do have to stream, because with PS4 games, obviously, on PlayStation Now, you can download those. You have to stream the PS3 stuff that's on there. PC, you have to stream all of it. And I don't know if it's still on there, but, like, Bloodborne which is something that people have been clamoring to come to PC for ages, is playable on PC. You do have to stream it, but it's been, I don't know if it's still part of the library, but certainly when it was part of the library, if it isn't now, it was playable on PC. You could do it. So they're making a big song and dance about stuff that PlayStation Now already did, and they're maybe hyping up the existing catalog, which wasn't always that great anyway. I don't know. I'm not at all sold on this, and I have no interest of going any higher than essential unless they work out proper backwards compatibility and they lock that behind a higher tier. It's weird that time-limited game trials is like a bullet point of the most expensive tier, because how many games are going to offer those?
Yeah, how often?
And
would
how
you
justifiable
see
is that extra expense going to be for that?
Yeah.
It was kind of a lackluster, boring announcent.
And they just did it on a blog post.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. There was nothing. There was no video. There was just like.
There's just no hype
so you
for
know,
it.
I think that they don't care about. I think they're not hyped about it. They know.
They were so much
that it's
better in the
nothing special.
PS4 era of like being this, and Xbox has completely taken that from them.
Yeah.
That it is like they're not really trying. It makes sense. Don't get us wrong, to roll PlayStation Now into PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Because as long as PlayStation Now has existed, everyone has said, why is it a separate thing? Some people do want it, and I subscribed a couple of times just to get, a game I was interested in for $5.99 or whatever it was. But
I really like the idea of it, but I just sort of can't be bothered. Even if it does work out actually the same price, like putting the two together and paying.
That's the thing. If it is exactly the same price as getting 2 subscriptions, then you might as well have. I mean, what difference does it make to you now? If you couldn't justify getting 2 separate subscriptions when they were separate services, if it's the same price now, why would you do it now?
And especially if they do literally just shove the Now library into this and say, look at the hundreds of games available. And it's just those.
It's just the fact that they are onboarding existing PlayStation Now subscribers, I think at the premium tier, it might be the extra tier, is kind of telling that maybe it is just the PlayStation Now library. The PSP games is really interesting because that might be, especially with not so much PS2, but especially with PS1 and PSP, that might be their way of answering the criticisms about all the games that are available on the PSP, and obviously Vita's being ignored here, but that needs touchpad to play a lot of those games, and that could be complicated. A complicated issue to solve. But this could be their answer to the criticism of threatening to shut down those stores and all those games just being lost and gone forever because you can't access them through the web store, and you haven't been able to for a while. You can only access them natively through the consoles and the handhelds themselves. So, but even then, that could just be, how many are they going to do and which ones? There's just not enough information to really get excited about any of it. But at face value, I only need exclusive discounts, cloud storage, and online multiplayer access. I don't even need the monthly PS5 and PS4 downloads.
No.
I am quite happy with the most, but none of that sounds exciting to me until we get
until
specifics.
we know what's available.
This is the thing. I just think that there's so much confusion around the whole what games will be on there, what they will say is going to be part of the PS5 library. I mean, we already had the PlayStation Plus collection, which was 20, 30 games from the PlayStation 4 era that were their big games, like God of War, Horizon was all on there. You had
Persona Arkham Knight, which is going. Persona 5 is being taken off soon, apparently.
Well, but it's just ridiculous. And I think that there was so much discussion about it, and there was a lot of hype, and they just kind of were well, this is what we have.
Yeah.
You like it.
You make a good point, Ashton, that it feels like Gamepass is kind of they're looking to the future and what can we do? What can we turn this into? Whereas this is kind of just we better people want some old stuff, so we better do it.
It doesn't need to be 3 tiers. Either.
No, it doesn't. But we've said before, we've been saying for a long time that Game Pass feels like that is almost that's almost at this point their product, and they could take that into the future. They could even make it available on PlayStation if they wanted to.
And stop making boxes.
And it feels like that they're their product is Game Pass, and we've created some devices for you to play Game Pass on. They're called Xbox Series consoles. Whereas this very much feels like, okay, please buy a PS5, and I suppose like we'll make it kind of a Game Passy thing for it. Like the focus here is still on the console and the games that they're producing. Whereas they're not gonna take this, or they couldn't at the moment take this as its own independent product and like make it available on Xbox. I mean, they could do, but I mean, it's not substantial enough to warrant doing that.
I think if they'd have just said, we're merging PlayStation Now in with PlayStation Plus, and it's gonna, if you want PlayStation Now with that, you pay an extra bit of money towards it.
Yeah.
But if you don't want it, you just continue paying the $6.99, and you can go for the PlayStation Plus or whatever, and you can have PlayStation Now as well. That's what we've done. I don't think Sony I haven't ever thought that they needed to compete with Game Pass. I think what Sony do and what Xbox do are similar, but also very different.
And they work for the people who are on each platform.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Like people will not. Some people will not abandon. Some people might. Most people will not abandon PlayStation just because Xbox Game Pass has come out. There's different people with different types of games, and I think that where Xbox are doing really cool things with Game Pass, I think Sony are doing really cool things with the exclusive and the studios that they have like gathered. I'm excited about the studios and I'm excited about the games that Sony release, but I'm also excited about Xbox Game Pass, and these two things can coexist at the same time without Sony having to be like, oh, we've done a kind of a Game Passy thing. You want this? This is really expensive. We don't need it. Sony.
It's also early days, but
I'm not excited.
it's confusing as hell.
I feel
and the names are rubbish. Extra and premium are going to be interchanged and confused with each other constantly. It should have just been, we've got PlayStation Plus Basic Bitch Edition.
Bronze,
it
silver,
does
and
what
gold
you
or
want.
whatever, yeah.
Or bronze, silver, and gold. And here is the merged one with PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
With a couple of extra benefits. It's £4 more, but you get the services that was in its entire own subscription model. And that should have been it. These other half steps are weird because you have to assume that if a bullet point of premium is PS1, PS2, and PSP game catalog for download and streaming, they probably will not be made available a la carte to buy from the store and just play. You will. They're probably an exclusive to PlayStation Plus Premium, and that's the only way you're going to experience it. It's just not great, and I don't think it can be compared to Game Pass because Game Pass is just so much better value.
Yeah.
And also this clearly is not even trying to do the same thing, which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
And I think it's quite telling, actually, that they haven't talked about anything that's part of these libraries. I think the more I think about it now, like, it almost certainly is just going to be like the Now
We've not had
lineup,
anything, have we?
Because if they'd like nailed down some really cool deals, like we've done a deal with Activision, and all of their like. You can play the original Tony Hawk's games or whatever, as an example. They would maybe like cherry pick a few of the best deals that they've nailed down, or stuff from their own back catalogue that they've now made available, and say, 400 games or however many 100 games, including, and then just a few little interesting ones that maybe aren't currently available on Now. But the fact that they've not done that makes me worry.
Citation needed, but I think they've given examples potentially of the likes of Returnal and Spider-Man Miles Morales going on the premium service.
Right.
Sorry. The extra on the extra service. Perfect example there. So, clearly they are going to add some of their older exclusive big games.
Yeah.
We're not going to get day one stuff. I do kind of understand that logic, but because they don't have the money to throw at it like Xbox does, and they are not making a Game Pass competitor, as much as it's being presented that way, and as much as we've titled this episode saying, how does it stack up to Game Pass? As we've said, it doesn't.
It's not.
It's not the same, and that's not us defending it. It's just doing something very different.
Yeah.
And that could end up good, or it could end up rubbish. This is sort of a classic tale of Sony since the PS5 was announced and slightly before, of just really bad communication.
Yeah.
We know how much it's going to cost, and the vague offering, but the real meat is going to be what games are
Yeah.
included, and we just don't know. I hope it's good, and I hope that the PS Plus Premium, the top one, subscription is irresistible, because I would love to have access to loads of stuff that I'm really interested in, and I'm willing to put my money down for that. But currently, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And they must know that anyone who's not got Now at the moment or had PlayStation Now, if this comes out and the new library is just PlayStation Now, essentially, why is that going to attract anyone new? Why bother? Why go through the rigmarole of creating this new model if really it probably won't attract anyone to a higher tier if they've not already got PlayStation Now?
Yeah.
Maybe there is more than that, but we'll have to wait and see.
We will. Any closing words, Ashton?
No.
Peter?
Not at all.
Ben?
I'm done. Thank you. Let us know, of course, what you think about, well, Wonderlands, I suppose, was quite a big discussion as well. Let us know what you make of Wonderlands. Let us know what you make of the new PS Plus subscription. Will you be getting it, and which one? And, of course, let us know about all the other stuff we've spoken about on this week's podcast. Peter is going to tell you some various places where you can find us on the internet if you would like to interact with us further.
Hello. YouTube.com and twitch.tv/Team TripleJump. That's where you can go for all of our videos and live streams when we're streaming on both of those channels. We are modded by Lobrotovich, Trolling Badger, and Mr. Black. Also, on Twitch, you can get a Twitch sub for essentially for free or bundled in with your Amazon Prime. If you've already got Amazon Prime, you get a Twitch sub with that. So spend that on us if you like. Twitter.com and Facebook.com/Team TripleJump. Thank you, Fraser, for looking after our social media. You can go to those social media presences for video and live stream announcements, legacy video content, little posts for discussion and stuff. It's all very exciting. And to post weird news as well for us. We've got a TikTok, which is tiktok.com/@Team TripleJump. Ashton's over there.
Yes.
Ticking and
Ticking and
talking with Fraser.
Yeah. And we've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Team TripleJump. There's lots of rewards there, including early, worst, and weirdest games ever. You can ask questions on this podcast. You can be a weird news podcast producer. So go and have a look at all those tiers.
We have a website. It's triplej.mup. That's triplej.mp. It spells jump. If you want to join our Discord, go to triplej.mup/Discord and chat with our wonderful community. On Discord, we're modded by Jack, Joe, Tori, and Hollow Eyes. And if they tell you to do something, bloody well do it. If you want to listen to the podcast in its audio forms, you can go to triplej.mup/podcast. If you want to watch some of the live stream VODs, if you've missed any live streams we do a week, you can go to triplej.mup/VODs. Oh, did you just...
I just bonked the table.
Wham!
Bam!
That's VODS. And if you want to buy some sick and cool merch, we're all sporting some merch today. Jacket, sports time jacket, t-shirt, jacket. Nice. You
Knife.
can go to knife. You can go to TripleJumpShop.com and follow @TripleJumpShop on Twitter for all the latest merch updates. We're working on some right now, so if you follow them, you might be one of the first people to know about it.
Ooh, maybe you just get that. Why not follow Peter and Ashton on both Instagram and Twitter @ThatPeterAustin and @ScrambledAshton, and myself just on Twitter @confused_dude. We do lists every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Streams every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thursday being the joint stream.
Blaze it.
On YouTube. No joint stream this week because after this we are having lunch and then we're gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
To celebrate 200,000 subscribers. We're going to the buffet this afternoon. It's very exciting. So there'll be no VOD this week. Don't feel like you've gone insane if you can't find it on the VODs channel. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday streams are the solo streams on Twitch. Worst Games Ever is fortnightly. Friday for patrons of a certain tier. Sunday for everyone else. The podcast's every Saturday. And we do shows all the flipping time. Go check them out. Why not leave a 5-star review on iTunes or your platform of choice?
It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms.
Yes.
With Bill Clinton's rhythms.
Bill's
Ball Clontons.
Clodton.
Rhythms.
This week on the channel, well, firstly, go to facebook.com/Team TripleJump. We are closing in on that 10K. Go give it a follow.
9.2 now, I think.
Ooh, very close.
It's really slowed down, I feel like, for this last 1,000.
Please,
if you've
go
not done
do
it,
it.
please do it.
Please. It's also...
I'll cry if you don't.
She will.
I will.
She'll do
Not
it.
afraid.
And if you want to see Ashton cry, I'll make her cry if you do.
Either way, I'll cry.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, there will be tears.
Yes.
It's also a Worst Games Ever week, isn't it, Peter?
It is. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you what the episode is. If you're a patron, it went out yesterday. You could have watched it already.
Could have done.
But if you're not, it's coming out tomorrow. And it's Flushed Away.
Oh, I love that
Off
movie.
of Hard Man.
Off of Hard Man, The Hard Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Are the slugs in it?
The slugs?
Yeah, they're singing slugs. Are they in the game?
No, we didn't get that far.
Didn't see many.
They
slugs.
probably are, but
Yeah.
I say it's a good one. I've not actually watched it yet. James sent it to me this morning, and we came to record the podcast.
I've
but
seen it, and it's excellent.
Lies. False.
Fake
Why are you
news.
lying for?
Ashton,
Yes.
can you please tell us this week's sponsor once again?
This week's sponsor.
Peter, can you react as if you understood?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This week's sponsor comes from Stadia. They say because PlayStation aren't doing it, they're releasing Spartacus. But then Xbox said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then Steam said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then Epic Games said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then Ubisoft Connect said, no, we're releasing Spartacus. And then finally, Nintendo said, no, we're releasing Spartacus.
That's a 77% reaction.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm bereft of ribs.
My sides are practically split.
Call the doctor. His sides have split. Thank you so much for listening / watching, everybody. Episode 150 in the bag. Really appreciate you being here. And we will catch you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.